Hey everyone, and welcome to the first SOMAtv episode of Tea Time with Torpey. Unfortunately, I don't have enough creativity or time to think of a new title for the TV show, so I'll carry over from the columns. But I'm pretty excited about this. This is an opportunity to bring more information about what's happening in Village Hall, a little bit more about what I'm working on, and a little bit more about what some of my colleagues are working on. Over the past couple months, I've really tried to create as many channels of information as possible between Village Hall and between people who live in South Orange or Maplewood or the surrounding community. We've got video updates and summaries after each board meeting, a blog on my website on southorange.org and on the patch. There are office hours now every Tuesday from 3:30 to 5:30. You can follow my updates on Facebook and Twitter, and you can also read a monthly update in the news record. And now this is the first episode of a monthly update I'm going to do here on SOMAtv, and each month I'm going to try and bring in a guest, either a colleague on the board, some staff from Village Hall, some local business leaders or community leaders and volunteers to talk about projects that they're working on, because at the end of the day that's what's really important. Now there's a lot going on in Village Hall, so many projects to talk about. We're looking at renovating Village Hall right now, which is going to be a pretty exciting project, as we also look at reorganizing the way some of our operations work. It's a really great chance to look at both of those opportunities where we're reorganizing our physical space and reorganizing the way we work. Not too many organizations get the opportunity to do that. We have some really exciting development projects happening downtown as well. Between the Bifus lot, which right now is before the planning board for a site plan approval, and Valley and 3rd Street, where we have a short list of developers that we're looking at. I think we're going to be able to bring a lot more residential and commercial activity to downtown, which is not only going to help support our downtown, but really going to help reduce the burden on single-family homeowners and our residences as well. We're doing some really exciting IT projects as well. Just recently, we are starting to contract some of our IT services with a company called Synergy that works with the school district already. So we're working with them to bring in some help desk services and support to our IT department. And that's going to be under the some of the direction of Stan Wilkinson, who's been in our IT office for a while and is now going to take a little bit more of a leadership role, which we're all really excited about. We're also looking at some more technological changes to IT. You know, for example, whether using Google and Gmail as opposed to Microsoft Exchange for emails and calendars would help us improve our efficiency, would help us do better calendaring, and maybe at some point in the future, we could even use document collaboration so that we can make some of the work processes that happen in Village Hall a little bit more efficient. There's also obviously a lot of buzz right now about what's going on downtown. There's been a Special Improvement District Advisory Committee, which for the better part of this year has been really thoroughly studying whether a Special Improvement District, which basically creates an assessment area downtown that's going to be targeted for even more development and uses fees collected from that to bring in more services and improve services to the downtown. There's a lot of controversy around that right now, and we saw a lot of business owners and residents out at our board meeting last night to talk about it. And I think that the one thing is clear, that no matter which direction we end up going, there's more volunteerism and more energy and more support for our downtown right now than there ever has been. So whatever we end up doing as a community, I think is going to be a really great thing for our downtown. Now, I'm excited to be here tonight with one of my colleagues on the board. Trustee Deborah Davis-Ford has been on the board since 2007, and she's the chair of the Legal and Personnel Committee. And I would love, Deborah, maybe you could tell us a little bit about some of the things that you're working on in your committee.
Well, like you, I'm really excited about the things that we have accomplished and the things that we have planned to really continue to improve the quality of life in South Orange, and to also incorporate as many volunteers as possible so that we make sure that we're meeting the needs and expectations of our residents. So just 2 or 3 things I'll talk about today, and that will be the search for a new administrator, and also the Seton Hall South Orange Partnership. First, let's talk about what's something that's so critical to the operations of South Orange, and that's the administrator. For the viewers who don't know, the administrator really is the COO, or Chief Operations Officer, for the village, which simply means that all the department heads report up to him or her, and that person is responsible for the day-to-day functions and operations of the town. So as you can see, that's a very important position, and we want to take our time to select the right person. So the Board of Trustees decided to give us the time to make the right decision for such a critical position, that we would hire a consulting firm which would place one of their employees as an interim administrator, and we now have that person. And I really challenged with the last name. It's Regan
Burkholder. Yep. He used to be the manager in Summit for about 17 years. The manager is the equivalent of an administrator position, and so he started in South Orange a couple weeks ago and has already been meeting with department heads. He's been meeting with board members, and we're pretty excited about him taking some of his perspective from Summit and some of the other towns he's worked in, and looking at how we can help organize some of our operations.
And to add to why we feel so good about this selection, Alex, is because we're not looking for just for him to be a placeholder while we're doing the search. We're looking for him to continue with some of the critical and time-sensitive projects that we have in place, and he has the skill set, the knowledge, and experience to do so, so that hopefully there'll be minimum negative impact to the village and our residents as we continue to move forward for our search. So, Alex, would you ask me how we're going to go about the search?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a committee, a search committee. Could maybe you're on that. We have a couple other trustees on that. Do you want to talk a little bit about what we've been doing there?
Yes. We have a process in place that was established when we did the search for the clerk of the village, Robin Klein, and we thought it was such a good and excellent process because it was a comprehensive process that let us get the critical information that we could make an informed decision. And so this committee is using what we call a matrix, which is the skill sets with a spreadsheet that allows each individual person on the committee to rate. So we're talking about the same skill sets and attributes with the rating system. So far, on our own, without even using a search firm, if we can save the expense of the town, the position and the skill sets were posted. As of today, we have received 25 resumes for that position. We will look at all the resumes presented to us through this process, and also through a firm if we choose to utilize a firm also in addition to.
So you've been working in the HR field for a while.
Yes.
Maybe could you talk maybe for a minute about kind of the differences between going about a search on your own and using a firm, and the potential value of using a firm for something like this?
Absolutely. Prior to the role that I have now in government, up until 2.5 years ago, my whole career was in staffing and simply working for companies or partnering a startup company of my own to provide talented skill sets or people with those skill sets to clients. And what the benefit of using a firm or a consulting firm is time, selecting the right candidates, and that's what a search firm does. The search firm, based on your requirements, will do the selecting, the sourcing, the interviewing, and they will present you with several candidates, may it be 3 or 5. A good firm will present you with candidates that any one of them are qualified for the position you're looking for. It just then becomes a matter of the client interviewing the person who has the best chemistry or fit, because they have the skill set. So what you're paying for is a firm to identify the talent and the appropriate people with the work experience, education, and skills that are qualified to do your job, and then all you have to do is select the person that has the best fit.
That's interesting. Okay. So when we're going about this process, there's always talks about, how much time is something like this going to take? And I know I've certainly gotten that question from people, and I've even seen, some emails from some of the people that have submitted resumes kind of wondering what the timeline is. It seems like the more time that we spend on something like this, that this is not a process that we want to rush. It's
No.
something we really, as you said, the administrator is such a critical position to the operations of the village that spending another month or two on it, if we find the candidate that's really the perfect fit for South Orange is really worth it.
We think it's going to take us about 3 months. It's now October. Ideally, we would like to have someone in place by January 1st. But even if we find the ideal candidate at the end of the year, if this individual is working, they may have a commitment or contractual requirement to give a 30-day notice. And so we're factoring all of that in. So we're looking for some time in February to have a new administrator starting. So that's our timeline that we've put in place. And we've already established, approaching this as a project, we put certain things in place and certain timelines to continue to move forward to meet that goal.
Mm-hmm. In your experience with these sort of things, how much of the process of finding a new person is finding someone who has the right qualifications or degrees or requirements, and how much of it is finding someone that's like a really perfect fit for the environment?
It depends on, if it's real technical, it's more of the skill set, and the interpersonal skills are not as a bigger factor. But in the dynamics where there's a lot of interaction with employees, the public, those interpersonal skills are just as important as the education, the experience, and the skill set. And so we're looking for that candidate that has strong talent in both of those areas, and will be able to represent the village well as manage all the responsibilities that goes with that position.
That's great. Well, we're actually running out of time here. Amazing how time flies when you're having fun, right?
Well, if you invite me back in the future, then maybe we can talk about our Seton Hall South Orange partnership, which I think is so critical to the viability and quality of life here in South Orange.
It absolutely is, and although this show will air a different day than it's taping, we'll both be welcoming Seton Hall's new president, President Esteban, tomorrow at his investiture, which is a really great official welcoming of the president to the university. So we're about to wrap up here, and I just want to thank everybody for tuning into this. I think that, and I know my conversations with people, whether it was going door to door during the campaign or just talking to people after a board meeting or around town in Starbucks or at any of our local businesses, people really want to know what's going on. We have a very engaged public. People, read the minutes, people watch the meetings, whether it's at home or or online, and hopefully this show will be one more way that we can bring a little bit more information about what we're working on to people. We want people to be involved, so if you are interested in getting involved, definitely visit southorange.org, check out the videos, look at the meeting schedule, look at our calendar. There's so much written up on our website and in Patch about what we're doing. Really hope to see this community as well informed and as actively involved as possible. So again, my name is Alex Torpey, Village President. I'm here with Trustee Deborah Davis Ford, and this is the first episode of Tea Time with Torpey. Hopefully we'll do this again, and Deborah, we hope to see you back here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Local government, local educational institutions, and local community members all use cable access TV to communicate their message. They depend upon it as an affordable means of outreach. Public, educational, and government access television empowers local government agencies, individuals, and groups to use the media to speak directly to their constituents in a more direct and cost-effective way. Make sure everyone has a voice. Support your local PEG channels.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another summary of a Board of Trustees meeting for the October 12th special and conference meetings of the Board of Trustees. Last night we had a meeting. It was on a Wednesday instead of the typical Monday because of Columbus Day. We had a pretty full agenda. In fact, we didn't actually get to everything on our conference agenda last night, so we'll be having a meeting this Monday at 7:30 p.m. in Village Hall as a carryover of our conference agenda to finish up the items that were not able to be discussed last night. This won't be a meeting where official action will be taken, but rather just a continuation of our discussions from the conference agenda. We had a couple announcements last night. The first is that Seton Hall, the investiture for President Esteban is this Friday. There's a Mass at 9 a.m. and a ceremony at 10:30 a.m. In the Walsh Gymnasium, and that's basically officially welcoming the president to the university. The Farmers Market, of course, every Wednesday from 2 to 7 p.m., and that's hosted and organized by Main Street, and those will go until the end of October, so we've got a couple weeks left, and that's right off of Sloan Street and First Street. There's a flu clinic for residents of South Orange, 18 and over, and that is Wednesday, October 19th, from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m., and that's at the Baird Community Center. You can contact the South Orange Department of Health on our website or call Village Hall for a little more information about that. Of course, there are general elections coming up. Make sure to keep reminding people about that. If you're not registered to vote, please do so. Don't let people tell you that voting isn't a good way to get involved and express your opinion. The voter registration deadline is October 18th for the November 8th general election. And if you need to transfer or file for a new one, you can come to the clerk's office or my office here in Village Hall, or you can go to the website at southorange.org/forms or call the village clerk at 973-378-7715, extension 7724, to come pick up a voter registration form. Leaf removal pickup is beginning October 24th and will go through December 5th. For information on when a leaf pickup is happening on your particular street, you can go to the village website at southorange.org/leaf collection or call the leaf removal hotline at 973-378-7501. If you live on a county road, you should call the county at 973-239-3366. Before we got started last night, I read a proclamation declaring November of 2011 Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month in South Orange. I'm not going to read the whole proclamation right here, but we'll have a copy of that up on southorange.org if you'd like to take a look at it. And it's important for us to do what we can as a governing body to try and help raise awareness of a very deadly and tragic disease. We had a couple presentations last night. The first was Neighborhood Watch. Janine Buckner and Sergeant Al Dieso from the South Orange Police Department. Janine is our resident Neighborhood Watch coordinator, and they spoke about basically on a little bit after the 1-year anniversary of Neighborhood Watch, of the revitalization of Neighborhood Watch in town. They spoke about ways people can get involved and how successful Neighborhood Watch has been for our police department. And you know what they say over and over again is always call. Residents are really the eyes and ears for the police. That's the best resource we have is people who are just out, going about their daily business or at home. And if you see something, say something and give the police department a call. Or you can go online actually to the website and you can submit an anonymous or not anonymous, if you'd like to be contacted back, crime report. Those are unbelievably helpful. You can find more information about Neighborhood Watch on our website too. Then we had the presentation of the Special Improvement District Advisory Committee. They had a couple members from the committee speak and give us the overview of the report, the very extensive report that they've made from about 6 or 8 months of studying a potential special improvement district in South Orange. You can find the entire report online on the website at southorange.org as well. I went on to approve our minutes, and we had an ordinance for first reading last night, which was tabled from previous meetings, which is the salary ordinance 2011-17. That was not taken off the table, so that's being worked out still in the Finance Committee meeting and legal, and that will be taken back up at our next meeting. There were no ordinances for second reading last night. Then we had a public comment period. We had a very large number of residents and business owners speak out about the Special Improvement District. There were a lot of concerns from business owners about the economy and the assessment that the Improvement District, if there was one, would make on the businesses in town. There were a couple businesses that were also in favor of it, and I just want to make sure to thank everyone who did come out. You know, the discourse was reasonable and civil, and we certainly appreciate people coming out with their opinions about this. Now it's on the board to read the report that the committee has made, get together, compile any questions for the committee, and then have a discussion among the board and with public input about whether this is something that the board wants to do. And I said this last night, and I'll say it again now. It's very important to make sure to keep in mind that this is, one of the options that the board is considering. The only goal for this is to try and support and improve the downtown. Again, I think the discourse was very civil yesterday, but we all obviously care a lot about downtown. There were a lot of people who came out last night who didn't even speak, and I know a lot of people at home who are concerned about the downtown as well. That was certainly one of the biggest issues that I heard about on the campaign trail, and also since being in office, is just what we can do to support economic development of businesses that already are in downtown, and to help bring more businesses into downtown, which will not only provide an even more reinvigorated downtown center to go to, but will also help lessen the tax burden on residential and single-family homeowners. If you'd like to see all of the comments that were made, certainly I won't do justice to some of them up here. You can go to southorange.org and take a look at them there. We had 11 resolutions on the consent agenda last night, which we did pass. I'll read the last one, of course, which is always the items on our executive session agenda, which is a Green Acres acquisition, 3rd Street property, Chiselwood's Field, Firehouse Accountability, Special Redevelopment Council RFP, status of Renaissance Plaza, Community Coalition on Race in-kind services, restructuring and potential litigation, East Orange Water Commission, Sterling Pilot, compensation for employees' bumping rights, impacted by reduction in force, and Villager of the Month nominee. We did pass our consent agenda. We moved on to our conference agenda briefly before going into executive session, as there were a couple items that we needed to discuss in executive session. The conference agenda gave the 2 updates that we always do, which is that a representative from Congressman Pascrell's office would like to make sure to personally thank for being on our ribbon cutting for the bridge along the Rahway River, along with Assemblyman John McKeon, Assemblywoman Miley J.C., Senator Cody, and representatives from the state and from the county. I mean, we really had a great showing of all levels of government in support of a great project that a lot of residents and volunteers, and my colleague on the board, Trustee Janine Bauer, has spent a lot of energy and time really putting a lot into this project, which is very, very successful. So the representative from Congressman Pascrell's office will be in Village Hall the 4th Monday of every month at 7 p.m. Excuse me. And the next meeting of the Essex County Board of Chosen Freeholders is Thursday, October 20th at 7 p.m. That's in the Hall of Records, room 506 in Newark. The Finance and Information Technology Committee did give their update and spoke about, presented some clarifications on our budget and tax rate increase for this year, which both of those numbers are the lowest it's been in over a decade, and some clarifications on some recent contracts that we voted on as well. That was a presentation done, some slides that were made, and we'll have those up on the website at southorange.org as well. Normally we would have moved on to the Planning and Zoning Committee, but we did have a brief discussion among the board about the Special Improvement District, To really summarize each of the board members' comments, again, wouldn't really be doing it justice. So instead, if you want to watch the video of the meeting last night, which you can do at southorange.org, that would be the best way to keep an eye on and get a sense of the questions and concerns people had. We had a brief update on reassessments, and then we briefly discussed our best practices inventory, which is required by the state that we discuss that checklist. At that point, we did move on to our executive session, and the remaining items on the conference agenda will again be this Monday at 7:30 p.m. in Village Hall, and we'll go back over everything there. So thank you guys again for tuning in for another update. Again, hopefully this has been helpful. If there's anything that you want more or less of, please drop me an email at atorpey@southorange.org, and let me know if there's something that I should be doing different, or even if you just like the updates, let me know. And of course, I'll always keep doing these. I've definitely heard some positive feedback from many people. Again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to drop me an email at atorpey@southorange.org. Visit the website for the minutes or for the videos, or check on the patch or the news record for any of the updates that we put out there. In addition, actually, Thursday night, tonight, I will be beginning a monthly TV update with SOMAtv, and when the airing times of those are finalized, I will post those online as well. That'll be once a month. I'm going to try and have various members of the Board of Trustees and staff and residents, business owners on each month to talk about what's going on in town. So hopefully that's one more way, in addition to these video updates, the blog I keep on my website, and on the patch, and now on the southorange.org website, the office hours. Hopefully these video updates will be one more way that people can stay updated and make sure that they know what's happening in Village Hall. Thanks again, everyone. Take care. Until next time.